I think I might be okay. I'm afraid I might have filed it down a little bit too much, but maybe I'm okay. At worst, I think I might have to put like one tiny little shim under it, which won't be the end of the world, I guess. Oh, I still gotta put the tuning pegs on if I'm gonna put strings on it, don't I? Durr. Now, yes, I know, these are locking tuners. Right now I'm just doing the overwind because this is not the final string installation. And right now I'm just trying to make sure I got the nut centered where I need it. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to I think I filed it too low. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to shim the nut though, because even if I take the heel down, the nut's too close to the frets. So I'm gonna have to shim the nut, because if I just try to lower it here, that'll help with the bridge, but it won't do anything about the fact that the strings are still bottoming out on that fret. So I don't think I have any Floyd Rose shims. In fact, I know I don't. Once again, the quote maple strikes. I don't know if I have any straight grain maple that I can use.
A few minutes later.
Alright. Okay. I think it's going to be a combination of two things. I think I'm going to have to raise that up. But I think I'm also going to have to let go. Yeah, that was good. Now I think I'm also going to have to lower the heel just a little bit.
Okay, now.
Alright, so I'm not sure. I don't have a really great method of taking that down a little bit. I kind of thought I'd use the router, but then as I started thinking about it, with this carved top, there's no way I can really use a router because I need the router base to stay flat, and I'm going to be dealing with this crap. So that ain't going to work. And then I thought, well, maybe I could get out my router sled and set it, but that thing is a pain in the ass to set up. Just for that little bit, it would probably work well, but that's a hell of a lot to do for that little bit. And then Mrs. Unit said maybe the chisel, which would work, but I'm a little bit nervous about not getting it perfectly square. You know, the bottom perfectly square. But I got a feeling that I'm going to have to do the chisel because I don't know any other thing that's going to work that isn't going to be a huge pain to try and accomplish. I'm just going to have to be really damn careful. I only need to take it down about 2 millimeters maybe 3. Not a ton. But I'm just going to have to be really careful that I don't plow down too far or anything like that. Might be a little high. I guess we'll worry about it when we get there. I have to. I can always sand the shim a little bit. But that's done. That's done. That's done.
One eternity later.
Okay, hello. Well, I have once again farted my summer away. Well, not farted away. I've been busy as hell, but burned my summer. Let's say it that way. And it's supposed to get cool starting this weekend. And they're kind of talking like maybe summer's over. So it's September 17 right now. So it's got to get done because nitrocellulose needs a certain temperature range, and real shortly here we're going to drop below it. In fact, at night we are already dropping below it. So I want to get this done before I run into the same problem I had last year where it's spray it, bring it in the house, run the heater, spray it, bring it in all that. So I'm using Oxford paint again. Okay. Great product. Brad Angove turned me on to it. It's a great product, and I used it on my brother's guitar with amazing results. So we're going to start out putting some sanding sealer on. As far as the guitar neck goes, it's just the headstock that's getting hit because the neck itself I'm going to use penetrating finishing oil. I like the feel of an oiled neck a lot better than the feel of a sprayed neck. So I'm only going to spray the headstock and the body. So that's what we're going for here. And you can see my spray booth of janky awesomeness here. Okay, it's pretty much just a shower curtain, or several shower curtains set up around it. And then, I don't know if you can see, let's see if I can get it in the shot here. Hey, there it is. Okay, so you can see I have a box fan right there with a furnace filter on it to catch the overspray. That'll be running the whole time that I'm spraying the guitar, and then I'll have the garage door behind me open to let the fumes out. Although I will still be wearing a respirator and goggles because safety. And hopefully my shower curtains are opaque enough that you can see through them to see what I'm doing. I did it last time. It is kind of a blurry mess, but you can still usually see what I'm doing. So. Okay, so we've given the sanding sealer a few hours to set up, and now we're going to very gently sand back just knock the tops of the sealer down so it's all flush. I'm using Super Aslisk 800 grit with a soft sponge pad interface here. And we're very carefully just going to run over this a minute to try and take that sanding sealer down to level. We don't want to go too crazy here because we don't want to remove it. We just want it to the point where we don't have any peaks. So it's all nice and flush. We really want to try and keep it as clean as possible as we're going here, you know, so sand a little, brush it back, sand a little, brush it back, just to make sure that we're not getting a whole bunch of dust interference, because we can get it to the point where the dust will actually start to increase the grit of the paper if it gets all gummed up with dust. So we want to try and keep that dust wiped back a little. Okay. And then the headstock. Okay. And we're going to use 1200 as well, and we're going to go over it even more lightly. This is really just to smooth out the 800 grit scratches, so this is going to be even lighter. I don't know what's going on. My camera keeps shutting off. It's not the battery. Anyway, okay. So, I now have the headstock sanded to 1200 grit and tack ragged also. Now the last thing I want to do before I start shooting clear is I want to get the logo on. But this could be a little tricky because it seems to want to stick to the backing paper more than the transfer tape. There we go. All right. Here we go. Woohoo! Okay. Now, get my spray booth set up here. And I'm going to have to do this with the garage door shut because the wind's picking up. And to be completely honest with you, I don't want to try and do this and put all the work in. To be completely honest with you, I don't want to do all this and put all the work in just to have it be ruined by the wind blowing dust into my finish. So, we're going to have to play this game with the door shut. Alright. So, on to the clear coat. Alright, so we're going to let that run, or let that sit and dry for a little bit. I think I have to wait, I think I read it on the website, you're supposed to wait half hour between coats. So that's what we're going to do. I'll give it 30 minutes, then we'll hit it with second coat. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of my madness. Click like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.